Hey everyone, on this episode of Cook's Nook, we have Lesley Slepian, and you can learn all about her accounting business and her love of New York. Also, where to see the goats in the park. Check it out. Well, hello everyone. Welcome to another episode of Cook's Nook. And today we have none other than Lesley Slepian in the house. Thank you so much, Lesley, for being here. I cannot wait to tell everyone about your business. So Lesley recently started Common Sense Business and Books in order to provide an all-in-one accounting solution for people running their own business. She put her 30-year background in accounting and accounting technology to use, helping clients get set up on relatively simple, easy-to-use solutions like FreshBooks and QuickBooks Online. Additionally, she can guide clients if they want to set up an LLC, a partnership, or an S Corp, and can prepare all the tax reporting that they are required to do. She works closely and collaboratively with her clients to create a plan that sets them up for success. And thank you again, Lesley, for being here. What made you decide to open and start this business?
Yeah, so it sort of came out of my own story, which is I had been an employee in accounting technology for over 30 years. And sadly, over the summer, I found myself outplaced. And I started thinking maybe empathetically about other people who had also been outplaced. We know the economy has been very challenging in the COVID and post-COVID world. And there were a lot of folks who had great talent and expertise in things that they had only experienced in big business. And they decided that they were going to free themselves up and start their own businesses. But where to start? And the question always became, well, I might be good as a therapist or an organizer. And do I really know how to run a business, at least from a back office point of view? So I decided to put my resources together, helping them both with accounting software, accounting technology, as well as the business side of taxation and business formation, put it all together and help those customers really come to their own and have great businesses.
How did you actually get started?
Well, when clients come to me, sometimes they've already experienced the pain of trying it on themselves and realizing that it's more complex than they thought. And they're already in a bit of a mess or a bit of a bind. So I try to steer them properly. Sometimes we make very strategic decisions about let's stop using that software and start with something else new. Other times we decide, well, we'll try and fix where we are and just move forward. But as we go along, I get a better picture of what their business is doing, what their potential for success and sales is. So we try to be thinking strategically about whether they need a different business formation, what kind of taxes they're going to file, and whether it's not just income tax, but could be franchise tax, sales tax, payroll tax. There are a lot of taxes. So thinking about all of those things at the same time can be challenging. But I really am focused on that sole entrepreneur who may or may not be picking up an employee or a subcontractor, but wants to be able to do it properly and not to get into too much mischief while they get started.
Tell me a little bit about why you chose this profession.
Well, you would really have to go back 30 years and figure out why I was an accountant in the first place. I don't think that any 6-year-old says, oh, I've always wanted to be an accountant. Funny story, a girlfriend of mine, we were in evening class together in college, and she leaned over and she said, do you want to be an accountant with me? And I'm like, yes, let's do it. So at that time, we were the only women in our college class, but we went ahead and got our degrees. And both of us have continued on in some form of accounting and accounting technology for, well, let's just say over 30 years, probably more.
Incredible. So you were paving the way for other women accountants. I love that. Women in business.
And just to continue on, I found myself in a business very early as an entrepreneur in my early 20s. It was actually a country western bar in New Jersey. Wasn't even old enough to drink yet, but businesses were complicated, and you couldn't just go to the internet and figure stuff out. So I used that expertise to really leverage how to help people protect themselves, and really paid a lot of attention to getting the best out of both accounting and business rules.
It's so funny. I always, whenever you mention the country western bar, it always just makes me chuckle. I love it. I want to see you in boots and a hat, line dancing. Everybody wants their accountant to have personality. I like that.
That you'll get.
Yes, it
I
could
also
be.
think the empathy for having gone through a lot to get here.
Yes.
So I was speaking to a new client just the other night, and she's going through a divorce, and she's stressed. She doesn't want to be, oh, this is something else I have to worry about. So we've been trying to keep the stress low and her accuracy high. So working with her on getting those new books and records and finding out what she needs to do to get her business straight.
She is so lucky to have found you because you have the life experience
Thank you.
on so many different planes, right? That you can actually bring to her and help her in a very real and meaningful way. What drives what you do? What really motivates you to get out of bed in the morning?
I'm a little bit of a workaholic. I find myself sort of being dragged over to my desk and, well, let's just solve this problem now. Um, but also, I've come to learn, particularly in the last number of years, the rules have changed and they're changing so fast that it's really hard to keep up. So I've sort of pride myself on staying up to date on what's happening over at the IRS and New York State, and as well as in just the accounting world and technology world, so they can really bring the best solution.
This is what people need to understand. How many hours, how many exams did you have to do to get this
Well,
done?
let's see. That there's a question. I did sort of commit the last 4 months to becoming a notary public in the state of New York, becoming an IRS enrolled agent. That was a couple of hundred hours. I've become recertified in QuickBooks Online, which is a very dynamic product, and recently picked up a product that I'm very excited about called FreshBooks.
So, the focus of much of our Cook Nook series is around the Upper West Side. And I know for many years you lived basically at the intersection of South Harlem and Upper West Side, right? Around 110th Street.
Yeah.
So you know the neighborhood really well. What is one of your favorite things in the neighborhood? Where would you find yourself often?
Well, Laura, that one of the things I had always thought about was being a tour guide to New York City. So I'm your gal for destinations.
Yes.
But one of my personal favorites, and this may sound a bit funny, but Grant's Tomb, it's just a wonderful park. It's such a beautiful building. The park around it is lovely. There's vistas of the water. And I think it's so cute, at different times of the year, the Parks Department actually brings in a herd of goats, and they come up and they live on the hillside next to the Grant's Tomb Park, and they nibble on the grasses and branches to keep the grass mode, if you will, down to the West Side Highway. So I love to walk along there and see the goats on one side, see a bit of Civil War history on the other, and enjoy some of the best views in town. I think that some folks think that I'm very serious minded, but I also have this tremendously adventuresome side that likes to find um, interesting experiences, interesting adventures, new places, and learn more about what other people are doing and thinking. So, yeah, I found myself working at the ASPCA with dogs and cats, whole different breed of people who just love the little cuddlies. They kind of joke when you first meet up with the ASPCA folks. They will say that they're not people, they're animal people. And it's so true. They are just a different breed. So I find myself aligned with them as well. Got a few pets myself, dog and a cat, and I really enjoy them. And I think that it brings out a different side of your personality to have them. And too, Laura, from having adopted little Bailey, that yeah, they bring out a different side of our personalities.
Well, there's
Yeah,
also something else I think people should know, and I got this just for you for today.
what's that?
Is yeah,
That is true. That's true. You mentioned that I lived in South Harlem, but now I live in North Harlem, and I have a perfect view of Yankee Stadium. My son and I are great fans of Aaron Judge and the Yankees, and I'm proud of you, Laura, for wearing that Yeah, we don't want any guardians hats to slip in there.
So how do people get in touch with you?
One easy way is to write me at yahoo.com. I didn't think I'd say that, but my current email address is CommonSenseBooks with an S at yahoo.com. Or you can always give me a call or text at 914-498-3343. Would love to just have a conversation, no pressure. Frankly, it has to be right for both of us.
Yeah.
So I want to work with you. If you'd like to work with me, let's just have a conversation and get started.
Amazing. Well, thank you so much for joining us on this Cook's Nook episode. It was a pleasure as always. Please reach out to Lesley, learn how she can help. She is an amazing resource, and we will all see you next time on our next episode of Cook's Nook. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you so much, Laura.
Thanks for watching this episode of Cook's Nook. Be sure to connect with Lesley if you have any questions about accounting and your small business. And as always, reach out to us if you need any help with buying, selling, or investing in NYC. We'll see you next time.